Welcome to our new series, the 200 Movie Challenge. Our goal this year is to watch 200 movies that we haven't seen yet. If you want to listen to the full podcast where this clip is from, the link will be in the description. Now enjoy today's movie.
Masoto,
I
you,
did.
you get movie 151. 151. Why don't you tell us about the first movie you saw and why'd you choose this one?
So, the first movie that I saw this week, I believe it's an A24 film. It was a movie called Warfare. Now, this movie was recommended to me by a good friend of mine, and I tend to be. I've said this on a few different movies I've watched this year that if somebody recommends me a movie, I tend to kind of see that as like, okay, there's maybe the universe wants me to see this movie, and if it's free, and my friend knew the rules of the 200 movie challenge, and his text to me was, Warfare is available. It's streaming on HBO Max, so you have no fucking excuse to not watch this movie. He's like, so that's my gauntlet I'm throwing down, and I said, okay. Um. I've seen a lot of war movies um in my life. Obviously, the important ones like Saving Private Ryan and Apocalypse Now, all those ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I only named two. Um
All of them, no.
all, all of the two movies that I just named. Uh so it starts off, it follows a group of Navy SEALs in Iraq, and apparently this is based on a true story. And it's very upfront with saying like this is just an account using the memories of the soldiers that were there. I think it took place around 2006, if I'm not mistaken. So it's directed. So it has a director, and then it has a co-director. The co-director is actually like a military advisor. So there's a lot of just sort of, I guess there's like a realistic feel to it. So it starts off and they're doing their thing in Iraq, and um, I guess they're looking for insurgents. I'm not sure. It's not really clear, but there's a lot of jargon that they're using. But I didn't feel lost, if that makes sense. I kind of was like, okay, yep, I get it. This is pretty gritty, pretty realistic, and for a lot of the movie, not a lot of it, but for the beginning part of the movie, not really a lot is happening. It's kind of very realistic. It wasn't boring. It was still kind of interesting to watch as they hunker down into really somebody's house because they had to just commandeer somebody's residence because they thought that maybe they had some insurgents in there, from what I gathered. And so they're kind of waiting for like their next orders. But they're sort of starting to see, as they look out their windows, they're starting to kind of see like activity, right? And the full might of the United States military is on display here, and it's not done in a way um, that I feel sensationalizes it or makes it like seem really cool. It's just done realistically. So they have people looking up in satellites or whatever, and they can tell like where people are moving, and they're talking to each other, and just kind of seeing like the activity slowly build around their position. And that tension kind of rises, and you're like, okay, where is this going to go? There's a guy who's manning a sniper rifle position inside the house, and he's kind of looking and writing things down and making sure that they're just not going to be in a situation where they're all of a sudden going to be ambushed. And so that's the lead up to the movie, to the really the main events of this movie that happen. And without spoiling anything, I will say that the situation escalates dramatically, and then it just becomes chaos and a fucking nightmare. And you start seeing how people react in these situations, these war situations, violent situations. You see guys trying to hold it together mentally while, quite honestly, going through shock. Not just from injuries, but just from being in a situation where your life is on the fucking line. And it was incredibly intense. I thought really incredibly well done. And it kind of just did a really good job of, I know you like this in movies where, there's really only one location and, a story unfolds based off that location. And the way that they navigate through the challenges they have, the extreme violence that occurs to them, everything they have to do, all that is just so well done. But again, very intense. And when I texted my buddy afterwards, because I watched this movie at 9 o'clock in the morning, I
And
texted him afterwards. I was like, I just watched Warfare. And he was like, at 9 o'clock in the morning, he's like, what the fuck? Because it's like super intense war movie to watch like first thing in the morning. I mean, it wasn't really first thing because I'd been up since like 7. Um, and I was just having my coffee. When Sarah does her day shifts, it's really easy for me to get a morning movie in because I don't have to do anything. And yeah, so that was how I spent my Saturday morning, was just watching a very intense war movie with lots of violence and terrible situations. But done really well. I don't know if I'll ever see this movie again. So it's one of those where you can respect what you saw. It was really great. It was cool. But I don't know if I'd ever see it again. I don't. It was very, very intense. And I'm glad the situation was resolved. I mean, if it's on, I don't know when it would be on. I'd probably watch it, but I don't know. Like it's one of those movies where it's just, again, you know that you're watching something that's really high quality, and really well directed and great cinematography, and you could tell that it's like authentic is the word that I keep like going through my mind. It's just very authentic and very real. But I will probably never watch it again.
And that's the case with a lot of war movies. I mean, I know you only named 2, but
Did I?
joking
I did.
aside, it's like, you know, going back, talking about one of you two, like Saving Private Ryan. I believe I've only
Yeah.
saw that movie once, and it's not that it
Mhm.
was a bad movie. It's just it was powerful enough. A lot of things last, with me, and it was a great movie. It's just it is so tough to watch those kind of movies again and again. Especially what happens, especially at 9 in the morning. You must have been ready, intense for the rest of your day on Saturday, Soto. I mean, I know you went to go see a second film, which we'll talk about
Then I
later,
thought second movie.
but
Yeah, I was ready. I was amped up.
it's a way. Who needs morning coffee? You just watch Warfare. But no, like to
Yeah.
what you said, why I like certain things taking place in one area, because you have to work more on the characters, because you need to understand their mentality, and not a lot of war movies do that. Saving Private Ryan did. It kind of had a little of everything. I know it's a little Hollywood eyes, but the fact that Matt Damon, his character lost his brothers, and he still wants to fight with the brothers. So it's just the mentality of the soldiers is what makes it. So yeah, you're right. This probably would be right up my alley. But I'm not the one that saw it, Soto. You were. And as we
I did.
ask ourselves every time when we kind of get to the end of talking about a movie and we're looking through the list, because now this is, I'm going to set your 77th movie, lucky number 7 here. Where does Warfare go on Soto's list of enjoyment?
It's a top 20 movie for me. That's for sure. Um, really well done. I enjoyed it. Uh, but I enjoyed other movies more than I enjoyed that one. It's all about enjoyment here at the 200 movie challenge, as we talk about.
Well, it's your list.
Um,
You can do whatever you want to.
it is also my list, and I will do whatever I want. I think that from an impact standpoint, I would probably say that I'm going to go ahead and say that this is number 20 for me this year.
Ooh. So
Hmm.
right under Nightcrawler and now above Ballerina.
Yeah, I think that's subject to change. Again, this is our list. We do whatever we want. We are bound by no one. We are beholden to no listeners. So yes, I may change, but for right now, because again, it feels like a top 20 movie now that we're getting into this. Now that our lists are starting to become behemoths,
Mm-hmm.
I could be like, okay, no, this feels like a top 20 movie. Is it number 20? I don't know. I mean, again, it's the big factor is will I ever see this again? I don't know. I might see Nightcrawler again. I definitely liked Unhinged. The Menu might fall if I think about the Menu. I mean, I like the Menu, but it was kind of a one-trick pony for me. Although it was kind of fucked up. But for now, Warfare will be at number 20.
All right. And nothing wrong with that. A top 20 movie to start off your weekend. It's
Yeah.
9 a.m.
9 in the morning. Yeah. Oh my God. That's